Hi, sixth graders. We're going to do just a quick estimetry, and then I'm going to work through 3 different surface area of cylinder problems just to get your brain ready for the assignment today. So the estimetry is looking at this vase. How many beads do you estimate are in the vase? So get your number written down, and we'll get started with the clues. At any time, if you need more time to fix your estimate, just pause the video. Number 1, the answer is an odd number. Clue number 2, you could make this many cents using only nickels. Clue number 3, you could not make this many cents using only dimes. And clue number 4, the answer is 2 less than a prime number. So put all 4 of those clues together. If you need a little time to adjust, pause the video. And combining those clues, maybe you got to the correct answer, which is 45 beads. Raise your hand if you got that. Fabulous. I can't see you, but I think some of you got it. All right, so how can you find the surface area of a cylinder? If the exit ticket yesterday was hard for you, it may have been because you were not writing out this formula down here. It's super important that you're doing that so you can keep track of your work. So we know the surface area of a cylinder is the sum of the area of the bases. So on a cylinder, those bases are circles. And then the lateral surface area, which ends up to be a rectangle when you unroll that cylinder. So in algebra, we take S, stands for surface area. We take 2 pi r squared. So if you remember, pi r squared gives us the area of a circle. Since we have 2 circles that are bases, we have to find the area of that circle and then multiply it by 2 to account for both of those bases. Then the area of the lateral surface area is 2 pi r times h. The reason is this length, so if we think about this as the length of our lateral surface, it comes from this circumference being rolled out. Okay? And so that's why we're using the circumference formula here, 2 pi r for this length. Then we're multiplying it by h. Okay, so just like in a regular rectangle, we're taking the length times the width or the height. So how does that look in a problem? All right, we have this cylinder, and sometimes it's helpful to draw out the net, even if you're not the best drawer. So I can think about if I have this out as a net, I'd have my 2 bases. There's my radius, it's 4 millimeters, and then my height is 3 millimeters. So now I have to start with this formula. Again, it's really important to write out the formula. So surface area equals 2 pi r squared. Again, this is the area of the bases. So I'm using the area formula for a circle. I'm multiplying it by 2 because there's a top and a bottom. So here's my 2 bases. Then I'm going to add that to the area of the lateral surface. I have to use the circumference formula to get this length. So that's 2 pi r, that's the circumference of a circle. And then I have to multiply that by the height over here. So that's h. So now I'm just going to substitute in my values. So I have 2 pi times 4 squared. There's my, oops, I should have that. Let's keep that guy with him. Then I have 2 pi times 4 for the radius times 3 for the height. Okay. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to multiply the constants together. The commutative property of multiplication tells me that I can multiply this chunk in any order. I can do 2 times the 4 squared. I can do pi times the 4 squared. But I just want to get the numbers, the constants taken care of, the real numbers. So I'm going to do 2 times 4 squared. So 4 squared is 16. So I end up with 32 pi. Same thing over here. I can multiply in any order. That's what the commutative property of multiplication tells me. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 4 times 3 to get 24. I still didn't multiply out that pi. Now yesterday in example 3, you saw a problem where they left it in terms of pi. That means it's the exact answer. If we use the symbol for pi and don't use the approximation, we're really showing the exact answer. So at this point right now, if I needed to show the exact answer, I would write that this answer is 56 pi millimeters squared. Okay, so I added 32 and 24. These are like terms because they're both being multiplied by pi, so I can just add the constants. That would be my exact answer. Now, if I'm just asked to round maybe to the nearest tenth or hundredth, then I'm going to use an approximation for pi. So I would actually go through and say, okay, if I just want an approximation, I would do 56 times, I usually use the 3.14 rather than the 22/7. When I multiply that out, that is 175 and 84 hundredths millimeters squared. Obviously, if it told me to only round to the nearest tenth, I could drop off that 4. Okay? But again, this is an approximate answer because we have used the 3.14 approximation for pi. All right, this one, we have a radius of 6 yards and a height of 9 yards. Again, I am going to start with that formula. It is super important for your brain to see the formula and also to keep everything straight in your brain. So the surface area is going to be the area of the bases, so my area formula for circles times 2. And then I have to do my circumference formula for the length of my lateral surface, so 2 pi r. And then I have to multiply by h because I have that rectangle. So I needed the length times the height. All right, so I'm going to substitute in my values. 2 pi, and the radius is 6. So 6 squared plus 2 pi 6 times 9. When I multiply this out, I get 72 pi plus 108 pi. And again, if I've asked to give the exact answer, then I would leave pi as a symbol. I'm not going to do the multiplying using an estimate. And I would say that this is 180 pi. If I'm asked to just round to the nearest tenth or hundredth, then I can take that approximation for pi. So 180 times 3.14, and I could say my answer is about 565 and 2/10 yards squared. Last example. So again, I'm going to start with that surface area formula. Surface area equals 2 pi r squared. This is going to account for the area of these bases. Here's my area formula for a circle. Since I have 2 of them, it gets multiplied by 2. Then I'm going to add my circumference formula, 2 pi r. That's going to account for, remember, if I unrolled, that would be 2 pi r is my length, and then I have to multiply by the height to get the area of that rectangle. So I'm going to go ahead and substitute in my answers. 2 pi 3 squared, that's my radius, 2 pi 3 times 18. Even though this is laying on its side, that would still be considered that height, 18. So again, I can go ahead and multiply in any order, but that's what the commutative property of multiplication tells me. So I'm just going to do the 2 times 3 squared, or 9, so I end up with 18 pi. Then when I multiply this part out, I end up with 108 pi. And if I want an exact answer, I'm going to leave this as 126 pi. If I'm just asked to round or have an approximated answer, then I would do 126 times the approximation for pi, and I would end up with 395 and 6/10 centimeters squared. Okay. So today your job is to do the Big Ideas Lesson 9.3 assignment. Again, pay attention to the directions for rounding and exact answers. So make sure you're paying attention and doing what's asked, or you're going to feel frustrated if Big Ideas is telling you it's wrong. But oftentimes it may be you just didn't round to the correct place. And of course, yes, you need to show your work. I know that I'm not walking around in the classroom and I can't see your work. But when you're asking me a question, the first thing I'm going to say to you is let's look at your problem, because it's a whole lot easier to figure out your point of confusion, to figure out, did you just substitute a value wrong? Did you multiply something wrong? And it's so much easier to find out where the error is and make a correction. So make sure you're showing your work. Have a wonderful day.